Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Joni Ogg, and on behalf of the travel professional community and travelprofessionalnews.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar, and thank you for taking the time out of your very busy days, I know, to join us. We have two lovely ladies as hosts who are also good friends of mine, and they're from Uniglobe Travel Center, and we're really happy to have them come and talk to us. And today we have Betsy Geiser and Rose Snyder. So I'm going to share just a little bit of information about the ladies. First of all, Betsy is the Vice President of Uniglobe Travel Center. Betsy's travel career began in 1999 when she joined Uniglobe Travel USA as Franchise Sales Coordinator and Contract Administrator. And I actually remember meeting her back then. And since then, she has also worked in industry relations and home-based agency sales. And in 2009, Betsy became Vice President of Uniglobe Travel Center. I remember that too. I was so proud of her. The home-based agency division of Uniglobe Travel USA. She oversees all aspects of the hosting program and new agent recruitment. And Betsy is the Vice President of the Professional Association of Travel Hosts, also known as PATH, which is a great organization. And she's past president of her local ASTA chapter, in addition to serving on many other advisory boards. So really honored to have her with us today. And we have Rose Snyder, who is the Business Development Director at Uniglobe Travel Center. Now, Rose started in the travel industry in the 80s, working as a travel agent, both corporate and leisure. Her passion in travel led her to train others in the business, and eventually she went on to develop managerial and business skills to manage a few travel business operations starting in the 90s. And in 2004, she joined Uniglobe Travel Center and has added many hats on since then. And in addition to her utilizing her training skills by working with new agents in the Mentor You program, she also manages the supplier webinars, promotions, and the UTC agent intranet site. I'm sorry, UTCagent.com intranet site. I can't talk. Well, sorry about that. So today's topic is developing new revenue streams for your travel agency. And I'm sure this is going to be a great presentation because we're all looking for new ways to do that these days. So please remember that you're all going to be muted during the presentation, but we're going to welcome your questions, and you can type those in on the side panel of your screen. You'll see it on your right side. And when Betsy and Rose's presentation is all done, we'll take as many questions as we can. Now, in addition, today, one lucky attendee is going to win a $50 gift card, which is so cool, and thank Uniglobe for that. So to be sure, listen closely because you're going to get a clue and you'll have a chance to win. We will be doing the prize at the end of our questions. So let's not wait any longer for this great presentation. Let's turn the microphone over to the ladies with Uniglobe. Welcome, Betsy and Rose.
Well, thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Joni.
Yes, thank you, Joni.
So, initially Joni had given Rose a promotion and made her vice president as well. So, unfortunately, that promotion was not very long lasting, and she did not get a raise.
Darn, it lasted a few hours though, so that was fun. Thanks, Joni.
All right, guys, I'm blaming that on Andy. Andy did that. Just blame that on Andy. I don't do things like that.
So, I know everybody listens to webinars, every day, and there's, so much information out there. So we're just going to try to have some fun with this. Rose and I have worked together since 2004. We have, a great relationship, and if we start yelling at each other during this, don't worry, we always work it out. So I'm just going to tell you some fun stuff about me. I live in Newport Beach, California, by the beach, which is, just lucky me. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs, and my favorite color is blue. Since I've been working from home, I have found that I really like working from home. I always was one of those people that everybody needs to work in the office. That's the way it should be. And then when all this happened and we had to work from home, I'm all like, oh, I'm never going back to the office. I like this. But I also find that I never take breaks, and I just sit at my desk all day. So shame on me. Thank God I have dogs because I do have to walk them during the day at least once. So anyway, that's my fun little tidbits. Rose, what about you?
Just a little fun note about me is I actually the opposite of Betsy. I miss working in the office. I love I actually miss my coworkers and just the day-to-day collaboration and, conversations. And so working from home is, really has taken, getting used to. I like it okay, but I do miss working in the office. And, but the one good thing since COVID has us, staying at home is I've really been doing a lot of gardening. So, I've got a newfound special passion for gardening. And if you've ever visited my yard, you'll know what my favorite color is, because I have a lot of pink roses and flowers and just beautiful pink everything. And my dogs, of course, I've got 2 dogs, like Betsy is talking about. Unlike Betsy's Daisy, mine stay quiet doing webinars. Knock on wood that they don't start working right now. But they love that I'm staying home and that I'm here every day with them. So, and I've been in the industry, like Joni said earlier, since the 80s. And I don't think there's, any chance of exiting now. So as long as I can keep working, as long as Betsy has a job for me with Uniglobe, I'll be here. So it's been kind of ups and downs throughout the years. And no doubt this COVID year of ours is very challenging and difficult for all of us. So we're here to talk about just that, to help kind of, hold you over until things get back to whatever normal is going to be again.
That's right. So, we're a host agency, so we have been working with our advisors, on a regular basis on, just keeping your head above water and, trying to get through this, because we know once we get through it, business is going to be booming. But what do we do in the meantime? Because things are a bit slower now. So Rose and I chatted, and these are things that we have talked about with our advisors on how to develop some new revenue streams. And I'm sure that most of you are familiar with everything that we're talking about, and it's charging service fees, promoting and selling local destinations, taking advantage of early booking opportunities and incentives, a temporary job in service industry, and starting a YouTube channel. So we're going to kind of do a deep dive into each one of those topics, and give our little tidbits of advice, and hopefully it'll be worth something to you. So I'm going to start with charging a service fee. And this has been a big topic since airline commission cuts. And I remember I was not in the travel industry at the time. My ex-husband was a travel agent. And I remember he came home that day, because he was a corporate travel agent. He came home and said, "Oh my God, they have capped commissions for airline tickets. Our world is over." And if you've been in the industry a long time, you will remember that, right, Rose?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So corporate agencies and anybody that sold airline tickets, started to adjust their business model and started charging service fees. And they were low because they were still getting a 10% commission. But in 2000, they totally cut commissions. And so to sell airline tickets, people really started implementing fees on selling airline tickets. And they were, not the $10 that they started charging. They were $25, $50, $75 and up, depending on if it was domestic or international.
Yeah, and I have to say, Bets, as you're talking about service fees and the different types, and I hear you, because I was a leisure, travel advisor for many years, and we're not all comfortable charging service fees or planning fees all the time, and that's okay. But look at what you've just gone through the last 6 months. So just kind of, I want to just put a reminder out there. If you're not charging service fees, look what happened to you in the last 6 months as far as losing commissions on cancellations, rebookings, and potentially now people are going to be a little more hesitant. So that next commission from your booking might be a long time coming. And if your client is going to cancel, what's left, if you're not charging a service fee. So you really want to seriously start considering that if you haven't already. I know there's a lot of advisors, our Bets, that I know in our network, but there's still a handful that I'm surprised have not, but I think they're reconsidering now.
Well, and for so many people, just earning that commission, which you do on those leisure sales, has been good enough. But we are the only service industry, and I have said this forever, that is not comfortable charging a fee. So, you're getting a commission because of your relationship with that supplier, and you're promoting that supplier to your client, and you're getting rewarded for that. But so I'm going to say I'm a VTA travel, which means I'm a verified travel advisor with ASTA, and I just had to do my recertification, and in that I had to take a session on service fees. And so Nolan Burris did that, and if you know Nolan Burris, he's absolutely awesome. And he said, and I will remember this till the day I die, the commission is for the booking. The service fee, or whatever you choose to call that, is for everything that you do from that first minute you pick up that phone to work with that client until that client comes home. So, you know, and many of you will say, you know, how much work you do for your clients. That commission is for the actual booking. Everything else should be a service fee, or professional fee, or consulting fee, or whatever you want to call it. And go ahead, Rose.
No, I was just going to say, and let's look at the bullet points. So there's different ways, of course, and some of you may be doing. I think the most common is, you know, kind of a flat fee that, you know, that we've seen. But Betsy, let's talk about just a little bit, you know, scale-based on top of travel. What does that mean to you?
So, you know, some people may charge $25 for an airline ticket. You may charge $50 for a cruise. You may charge, you know, $250 for a complicated FIT. So depending on how much work you're putting into it, you can charge, you know, a different type of fee, and just have that scale listed on your website, or just, you know, however you want to disclose that to your clients.
And kind of the same concept on the percentage of, you know, total. So kind of like you're creating, you know, your own commission, you know, just like you would earn 10 or 12 or 15% from a supplier booking, you know, you set what your percentage of the total is. But I'm curious, because I've not done the one bullet point on here that talks about annual retainer fee. I know of a few people that have mentioned that, but I've never done that before. Tell me a little bit about, or talk to everybody about what the annual retainer fee means.
So, like lawyers do, you can charge a retainer, and you can say to your clients, and this could be to the clients that you know are going to book multiple trips that year, and you know who those are. You can say, you know what, it's $500 for the year. There are no more professional fees that I'm going to apply to your trip, and that will cover everything for the year. And that works in two ways. A, it puts money in your pocket right away, and B, if that client's going to travel, for sure they're going to come back to you because they've already paid for it. They've already paid your service fee. So you're keeping the client close to your heart that way. And you know, you're doing well at the beginning of the year.
And it sounds like that's probably a good way, or a good method, when you have the regular clients that you know are coming back to you time after time. Right. And you know, it might work better for them. It's kind of a personal concierge. It's like, I'm happy to pay you an annual retainer fee because you do take good care of me, my travels, whether it's business or leisure or my family vacation. So those are very valuable services that people are looking for in someone that they can trust their travels to. And I think even more so, you know, post-COVID, I think there's going to be a lot more people out there traveling that are going to turn to the trusted and knowledgeable travel professional that, you know, has the contacts and the partnerships in the industry with suppliers. So I think that's going to become very important. And then lastly, the plan and go fee, where I think we've all had this. I know over the years, plenty of times where people come to you, you put stuff together, and it's like, you know, for one reason or the other, they're not going to end up booking with you because that old dreaded, you know, we all cringe when we hear, oh gosh, you know, I went to Costco travel, I found it on Expedia for $50 less, or whatever the case may be. We've all been there, done that. But guess what? So if all they're looking for is someone to put the logistics and the planning together, and they want to do the, you know, the footwork and booking it themselves and going, so maybe, you know, talk about that a little bit, Bets. How does that work? So we just charge, a planning fee, and then they
Right.
take our, what
And
we
they,
put together, and they book it themselves and go?
right. And somebody, you might have somebody that has points that they want to use, and they've got credits at hotels. So, but they want you to do all the footwork for them. That's great. I'm happy to help you. I will put this all together for you and let you book it using your points and your credits. And it is $250. And that could be an entire business model if you can find the right clientele. But definitely it's an option, and I don't think anybody should ever do any work for free. And I know how much work people put into putting a trip together. I hear it, I've heard it so many times that I had put hours of work in and they went somewhere else. Well, that's fine. They can go somewhere else. Have no problem. I'll put it together for you. You can book it any way you want.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, again, just the point is, don't hesitate anymore, and don't be afraid to charge a service fee or consider starting to charge service fees, because your service, your professional expertise, that's worth it. You earn not only your commission, but whatever service fee you're going to charge. I mean, who gets a call at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when your clients are traveling in Europe and they've got a question and they have no regard of what time it is? They just know that, oh, they got to the airport and their transfers aren't there, and instead of calling the number on their itinerary, they're calling you. So remember all of those times that you go through with your clients. So you earn that, you're worth it, and that's a valued service that clients or people are going to be looking for even more so. So I think we hit that one hard. I hope everybody understands that. And if you're not charging, I really do. I know Betsy really harps on our advisors as well to really consider, implementing that service fee.
And if you're not comfortable, every day look in the mirror and say, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I work hard. I'm worth it. Just keep telling yourself, because you need to be comfortable telling your clients about your service fee and what it costs to work with you. And when you're comfortable with it, it's going to come across right. It's not going to come across like, oh, by the way, I need to charge a fee. You need to be able to say, this is what I'm going to do for you, and this is how much it's going to cost. And once you pay my service fee, I'm happy to put this entire trip together for you. You need to sound confident. It'll come across right.
Hey, ladies, this is Joni. Can you give me 1 sec? We're having some people mentioning that they're having a little trouble hearing, so I'm not sure if you're using your computer or headsets. I just wanted to let you ladies know just to speak into whatever it is you're talking to, so we don't have that problem, okay?
Do you know who?
I don't know who it is.
Which one of us?
I think I'm not sure. But I just want to make you clear on it so you guys are cautious about it. All right, I will go away.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm using my speaker. Gosh, I should try to put my earbuds on to see if that's any better.
I mean, it's not bad.
I hear you
just
fine,
keep
Rose.
it right at. Just there. If you're doing it with your computer, just be right there. Just don't move around.
Okay, yeah, I'm right in front of the little mic on my speaker. Thanks, Joni.
Okay, no worries.
So we'll try to keep going here and see if that gets any better.
Okay. So here's another one that is just near and dear to my heart. Letting your clients know that you can book those road trips that they're taking. At UTC, we have promoted a lot of local destinations. We've got all of our suppliers that offer local trips, national parks, just whatever you can drive to, because some people just aren't comfortable getting on an airplane right now, but they want to get away from home. So it's twofold. A, it gives you a reason to call your clients. You can call, check in. Hey, how are you doing? I know that, you weren't able to do your big trip this year, but, if you're thinking about a road trip, I can certainly help plan that. And I can tell you what properties are open. I can tell you what their protocols are and how they're following sanitization. I can't say that. Is that right, Rose? how they're sanitizing their rooms, and social distancing, and if their pool's open, if their restaurant's open, and I can plan little side trips for you. So two things: it gets your clients thinking about you for those road trips, because unless you're telling them, they're not thinking about you, and they're not thinking that you can help them with that. So,
right,
great source of income.
Yeah, and here's the thing, guys. Most of us, right, are small business, and so we're all suffering. Whether you're in the travel industry, the service industry, food, restaurant, whatever, we're all suffering. So, what are we going to do in the meantime? There's, nobody's traveling. We can't get on a cruise. We can't go over to Europe. And so what are we going to do? We don't want to throw in the towel, but we know 2021 is coming. It's, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We know it's coming, but what are we doing in the meantime? And so Betsy's right. Let your clients know, let your community know, your friends and family. You're here in the meantime, let people know, hey, my business is suffering, like many of you. I would appreciate the opportunity to be, to help you with your weekend outings, family getaways. I know even now you're hesitant to travel because it's so uncertain and unknown there. But believe me, I'm keeping up on, what the hotels are doing, what the airlines are doing, what the national parks, have open, or local attractions. So be that kind of go-to person in your community that is going to be that trustworthy go-to advisor. There are a ton of places in our own backyard, as you all know. I'm sure you've already been, looking into and studying up on our own backyard. Besides all the beautiful national parks, every state has these awesome state parks. You probably don't even know, or a lot of people don't even know. They haven't taken the time in the last few years to even, just explore their own local communities or areas, or, within 4 or 5 hour drive or 6 hour drive. Locally here, a few miles away, we have Crystal Cove State Park, and hardly anybody knows about that, within like a 3 or 4 mile radius. But if you go there, there's 2,400 acres of backcountry on the coast. You can overlook the Pacific Ocean while you're hiking in the backcountry hills, tons of trails, on the bluffs overlooking the water, picnic, camping sites. So my point is, be that kind of local expert in your area, whether it's someone in your community, your neighborhood, family, friends, or someone from out of town, who's saying, hey, what do you have going in your areas? You'd be surprised what you find in your own backyard that people would love to get away to. You can be that weekend concierge to put something together. Here's the beautiful picture of Crystal Cove State Park. There are no crowds here, so you're not sending them to, Disneyland, which isn't even open yet, but they don't have to be afraid of, have all the crowds there. They can have space to explore where they're not bumping into people and not having to worry if they're going to pick up COVID or not. There's tons of places in all different states. Like I said, beyond the national parks that we all know about and love, there are the state parks here. So look at here in Georgia. I never even knew of this one, but as I'm exploring, and I'm going to go visit my son who lives in Georgia in the fall, you know what? We're going to take a trip out to this Cloud Canyon State Park. That's gorgeous. I'm looking forward to that. In Maine, one of my favorite states, the furthest east point of the United States is Lubec, Maine. And there's this lighthouse there that you can go to explore. There's never any crowds there, and it's a perfect time in the fall. But again, it's just being that kind of go-to, like we're talking about, like Betsy's talking about, the road trips, weekend getaways. But be a concierge for just your family camping trips, hiking, walking trails, bike rides, even picnicking adventures. You'd be surprised how creative you can be if you put yourself out there to your community as that go-to, travel advisor. And then again, of course, this is in the meantime. And so now you're putting yourself out there. So when we're back and things are safe and you feel confident in traveling again in 2021 and 2022, I'm here for you. So I'm here for you now for your, fun family outings, weekend getaways. But I'm going to be here again for you when the time comes to plan your family vacation. So your big dream trip, that river cruise trip that you always wanted to take.
I have a question. Rose? Okay.
Yes.
So my question is, this is all great, but how am I going to get paid?
That's a great question. So one of the things, we were talking about service fees at the beginning, but of course, something like this, you're not going to be as comfortable charging a service fee. But we talked about, and I know so many people, and I've done this recently, is do you all have Venmo or PayPal or Zelle? And you can ask for tips. So, and that actually works, just like, you do in a restaurant to a bartender or, a server or a delivery person. Well, I'm a professional travel advisor. I'm going to help you put together your plans. But listen, I'm suffering too, in my business. And if you like my plans and if I helped you and if you had a good time this weekend, I'd appreciate, whatever tip that you would like to, leave me that would help, just, kind of keep me going in the meantime. So don't be afraid to ask for tips. So it's not like a fee, they're not obligated, just like we're not obligated to tip if we're not happy with something or someone, but it gives them the opportunity to say thank you to you. So think about that. There's more and more people in these, kind of, self-sustaining businesses and home businesses and services that are saying, I love what I do. I love my job. It's suffering right now like a lot, but here's what I want to do. I want to help you in the meantime anyway. So I can help plan things for you. I can put the logistics together, and I'm going to give you the heads up, and I'm going to be the expert in letting you know what's open and what's not, what you can expect during this COVID time. And then when all is said and done and you send your thank you, by the way, here's a link to my Venmo account. If you'd like to, a tip for your experience and my services, I would greatly appreciate it. So keep that in mind. There's a way to work, all of these kinds of things and be creative in earning money and in being creative in coming up with these different scenarios of helping with, it's all travel related in the end. It circles back to your travel business. But, of course, as a reminder, we're all spread out, all over the country, Bets, right? So every state, even county, may have different, regulations or rules or policies. So you always want to look into things like that. But definitely that's something you want to consider. It's a new way of, kind of in the meantime, helping your business and helping your services. So does that help, Beth?
I love that. Yes, I think that is a great tip. And it's also a great supplement to your business when things do start picking up. People will think of you for their local and their international travels. So bonus. That way you can keep your clients engaged in every aspect.
Absolutely.
So here's another thing, I have managed all of our supplier relationships at UTC. And, there are very few suppliers that have been really promoting anything up until now. But now they're all calling me saying, hey, we're right around the corner from, hopefully a vaccine and people, getting on planes. And, we're working on consumer confidence and we're here to help you sell your clients again. And so there are great promos coming out right now. So it's another great time to call your clients and say, I know we had to put off this year's trip, but let's look at 2021. And my Betsy's tip is look at second quarter, third quarter of 2021, just to be safe. But let's look at 2021 or 2022 and get your dream trip on the books. So get it on the books. So many suppliers are still having their peace of mind policies that are going to be going through next year. And they want to see those bookings come in, so they're going to do everything that they can to help you get your clients comfortable with traveling. So work with your supplier partners, work with your clients. Let's get some things on the books for 2021 and 2022. It's not too soon to start reaching out for that.
Right, absolutely. And I know that, I've seen it, we've all seen all the new supplier, book with confidence policies. So, you don't even have to be afraid of that cancellation penalty if your client decides, you know, come 2021 that they're just still not comfortable yet traveling. Most of these suppliers, at least the ones we're working with, Bets, are very good about their travel with, you know, confidence policies. The, you know, can cancel and have the cancellation rebook fees waived. So think about that. So, you know, think about taking advantage of these wonderful promotions and bonus incentives as far as, you know, getting upgrades or a bonus offer promotion for your client, plus the bonus commission for you. Because the, you know, obviously the suppliers are suffering. They want to make sure, you know, that they're keeping in front of you and offering you something that you might be able to take advantage of, and, you know, provide an opportunity for a special, you know, offer that you might not, you know, have seen normally. But if you book it now and travel in 21, you know, your clients are going to, you know, have a nice package, and you're going to have a nice bonus commission incentive potentially there. So, but in the end, if it, you know, if it's still not something they're comfortable with, you know, you have the ability now and the freedom and the flexibility to cancel and rebook a little more, obviously, than we've had before in the past. So keep that in mind, because your clients might want to know that. So just, you know, I think Betsy talked about this, just because you're not comfortable with, you know, certain things right now, doesn't mean your clients might not be. So let that be known. Let them make the decision, and you be the advisor and guide them along.
Right. So, and this was, I heard this on a webinar somewhere along the line. It's sell out of your own fear factor. Just like you don't sell out of your own pocketbook, don't sell out of your own fear factor. Don't assume if you're nervous about traveling that your clients are nervous about traveling. So, you know, right now is also the time to be staying in touch with your clients, to kind of keep testing the waters where they're at. So you should have a really good sense of if they're going to be comfortable or not. And I was going to make another point. And so some of the suppliers I'm talking to are willing to get on the phone and do consumer webinars with you to work on, you know, the consumer confidence, because in some instances, and in a lot of instances, it's going to take a lot of consumer confidence. And I think one of the things people are most afraid of is getting stuck somewhere. So yeah, I was on the phone with Talk yesterday, and they're willing to do webinars with their with the advisor's clients and the advisor, just to ease some of those fears. And I think many suppliers are going to be doing that as well. So talk to your supplier partners and see if they have anything like that. Get a group of your clients on the phone that all have similar interests, and see if you can sell them, you know, a package from one of those suppliers that are doing that.
Yeah, and definitely kind of a mix, but I've been hearing more and more advisors sharing that, you know what, their clients are willing and thinking about spending a little bit more next year, because, you know, obviously they weren't able to use their travel budget this year. So guess what? You might be pleasantly surprised that your clients are going to maybe want to spend a little bit more money next year. So, you know, don't be afraid to go for it. You know, you're never going to know unless you put yourself out there and, you know, really share that and engage with your clients on, you know, what the future looks like for them. So maybe if they, as long as they know that you're right there with them every step of the way, they're going to feel a little bit better, easier, and confident about traveling next year. Right.
So it's not too soon. It's not too soon to book for 2021 or 2022. So, and then our final slide, here's one. Some people are just getting another job. And how can that serve you, other than, you know, if you need to bring in income right now and you're just not getting phone calls and your clients just aren't willing to travel or even use you for the local stuff, get a part-time job in the service industry. It covers two things. It gets you some money coming in, and it gives you an opportunity to talk about your business. So you can say, so this is my part-time gig, my full-time job, I'm a travel advisor. And you can start selling your business to other people. And hopefully when this is all over, you'll have a whole bunch of new clients.
Yeah, I agree, Bets. You know, even among our own advisors, our circle of advisors, there have been, you know, a few that, to hold you over, I mean, let's get real, you know, we have to have some kind of income coming in. So, There have been many that have to, had to seek out a part-time job. But in talking with them, we're learning, it's like, what a great opportunity to engage with even more people on a regular basis and just say, hey, my real job is in the travel industry. And, so in next year, when it comes time to traveling again or vacation, keep me in mind. I'd love to be able to help you out with it. So again, it's just something else that leads you to that opportunity of, growing and seeking out potential clients. And at the very least, it's like you're engaging with people. You're out there, putting yourself out there, making yourself, productive. It's hard because we're, a lot of us, we're not booking travel. We're not helping our clients while they're traveling. It's kind of, you can only use or take so much, quiet time. Well, it's been over 6 months or 6 months now. So yeah. Some of us need to stay active and productive. And so if it means going out and getting a part-time job, well, just multi-purpose that job. So you're, earning, you've got an income, a little bit of income coming in. Well, use that to your benefit in engaging with people as well. So, so that we thought that was a fun one, and we had to throw that one in there. So,
and I like, because we have one more idea after
this. We do have one more, Betsy. You forgot about this, and I want to talk about, and so maybe some of you are already doing this, or have been thinking about it, but you're just, you're just don't want to put yourself out there, but more and more people, and not just millennials, are starting their own YouTube channel. And it's very easy to monetize your YouTube channel. Now, like any other project or job, you do have to put some effort in. So you can't just put up, a video or a vlog or two or once a week kind of thing. You really have to be consistent with it. And not like, I'm not going to get into how to create your YouTube channel, but I just wanted to put the thought and idea in your heads to, if you think that's something that might, you've been wanting to do or might want to start doing, look into it. It's easy to Google how to and all the, different pros and cons. I mean, there's always good and bad with it. But you can have some fun vlogging, whatever you're passionate about. It doesn't specifically have to be, about, going on a cruise or going to Europe. I mean, obviously right now we can't do that, but you have a passion. So my passion, I love gardening, okay? And so anything and everything can be turned back around into circling back to your travel business. So you have to become, creative in your vlogs. So vlogging is simply, video blogging, and you see it all the time. If you haven't checked out YouTube, I never was a YouTube fan before really this year. I mean, during COVID, I watched a lot of YouTube, and I've learned it's not just, weird people putting together, weird, bizarre videos. There are actually a lot of things I learned from, and one of the passions that I have really grown to love is gardening. And because I have so much more time at home during COVID, I've been doing some gardening. But as I talk to like people at nurseries or experts in gardening, I tell them, well, my real job is this, and I go into the whole travel thing. So it's like one thing leads to the other. But let me tell you another thing about monetizing YouTube is, as you can see on the bullet points, you can earn money through advertising revenue, through the channel memberships, YouTube premium revenue. So I know if you're not familiar with YouTube, it means nothing to you, but believe me when I say, if you start looking into this, the potential is this easy. You start a YouTube channel, start vlogging. You'll have to, start growing your channel. My daughter, I was telling Betsy as an example, and I know several people who have done this, but this one happens to be my daughter. She started a YouTube channel about a little less than a year ago. And it was all about, losing weight and getting fit. But the bottom line is she loved it so much. She was consistently vlogging everything she did, from going to the grocery store to her outings on the weekends, getting physically fit with her family, and et cetera, et cetera. So her vlogs on YouTube became very consistent, very well watched. And in 6 months, and I kid you not, she was averaging about $350. Now, that's not huge money, but she just wanted a little cash in her pocket. So she was earning through advertising revenue and channel memberships from her channel, $350. Sometimes, you know, there was one check that came in a little over 500, but averaging $350 in pocket money. So my point is, here's a fun, easy way. Well, I shouldn't say easy because it does take work, because you have to keep doing it week after week and be consistent what you're putting in there. But it can all circle back to your travel business. And so as you're growing your channel, you're growing potential clients. It's going to be out there from now to whenever, even next year, as people are searching and surfing YouTube for, you know, oh, I want to go on a cruise, or I want to go on a, you know, hike in, you know, whatever. Start watching some of these channels and get some ideas. And if that's something that you know, want to start doing, I highly recommend that you get out of your comfort zone and do something fun and adventurous, something like this that'll earn you a little bit of pocket money.
Well, and can I just add that, you know, people that are not in the travel industry, when they're with a group of travel advisors and travel industry people, like my husband, he's like, you are the biggest group of outgoing people I have ever met. So there's no reason anybody should be uncomfortable doing this. We are really social beings. We have no problem talking about things that we're passionate about, most of all travel. And if you really want to promote those local destinations right now, this is a great way to do it. You can go on these little trips yourself and vlog about it and get interest from people around you. You can totally make it about your travel business, or you can make it about something else that's like Rose, her gardening. And then she could even tie that into going to Amsterdam to see the tulips.
Exactly.
You know, there's so many different ways that you can do this, and you can do it, you know, if you love wine, you could do a whole wine thing, and then a river cruise, a wine river cruise, visiting all the little wine areas on the Rhine. There's so many things that you could do. And there's no reason that any of you can't do it, because like I said, we're all a little bit out there in this industry.
Well, good. Well, we hope that you did enjoy, you know, a little bit of what we're, you know, want to put out there, and just, you know, put some ideas in your head to get you through this time. We really are all in this together. As you're always saying to our, you know, to our group, Bets.
Right. So we're all in this storm. We may be in different boats, but we're all in this storm together, that's for sure. And, you know, we just want everybody to know that, you know, we're here for you. If you ever need anything, you know how to find me, Geiser at uniglobetravel.com. Happy to just have a chat, because these are some tough times. And sometimes we just need somebody to talk to.
Fantastic, ladies. Boy, ain't that the truth. Sometimes we just need someone to talk to, and it's important for us to remember that we've all got so many friends in this industry and to lean on right now. I do have some questions if you ladies have time for this. I had some great comments. A lot of people have said they've really enjoyed this. I personally really enjoyed the way you guys kind of went back and forth together. I know you're not sitting in the same place, but it seemed like you were sitting in the living room together just chatting about it. So it was really well done. Someone's asking, if you have a host agency, how do the fees work? Do you work with the agency and they don't get a cut? Or can you maybe share how you guys handle that as a host agency?
Sure, and everybody's going to be different. So we have different programs. We have some of our agents on 100% commission program, so they would get 100% and they pay, you know, an invoice fee. Then we have agents in a different program that is a commission split. And what we have decided, because we are also in the state of California and we have to watch out for the seller of travel. So anybody that's falling under our seller of travel can't accept any direct money for travel related items. So we have agreed to just charge a flat $12 fee and they'll get 100% of their service fee.
Fantastic. Okay, that's great. That's a great solution. Thank you. And of course, everyone is going to be different on how they handle that. Every agency is going to be different. But you know, still, thank you for sharing what yours is. I appreciate it. Someone says, can you share a sample of a service fee that you would recommend for like a specific thing maybe?
Well, one that I've been hearing a lot is, if you're doing a flat fee, it could be anywhere from, well, see, I personally wouldn't do a flat fee for everything because booking an airline ticket or just a hotel room is totally different than booking a very detailed FIT trip where you're putting all the components together. So I would do $25 for like a hotel room if you're doing, a couple nights. I would do $50 for a cruise, and I would do $250 easy for an FIT.
Okay, perfect. That was another question about the retainer fee, which is kind of the same concept. So perfect. Thank you.
Right.
Somebody had a comment, which I don't necessarily agree with this. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can just touch on it. They're saying,
Sure.
don't you think that service fees are more of a regional or a big city item? And I don't think so. I think it's more of a consultative sort of thing, but I'll let you guys take that.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah.
So I do think it's a consultative thing, and we are travel advisors. We are not travel agents. We are agents of the supplier when we sell that supplier, but I think that it's a story that we're telling ourselves that nobody's going to pay a service fee for what we do. But the fact is if you are confident in charging a service fee, you will not have a problem. And you may lose some clients, and those are probably clients that you want to lose. And you may say, I've had this client for 50 years, I'm not going to charge, and don't. But if you have somebody that's calling you, they're off the street, you don't know them, if you're not charging a service fee and you're working hard to put a trip together for them, that's silly. I've had friends come to me and complain, and I've had agents come to me. I did all this work and they didn't book it.
I hear that all the time, Betsy. I hear it all the time.
Yes.
And it's a shame because you guys, we do a lot of work for our clients. You've earned that planning or that service fee because whether and I don't really get that the city thing, because many of our agents home based all over the country, they are travel advisors, they are consultants, they are the ones that the clients are going to turn to when something goes wrong, whether it and it's never our fault, but it's always our fault, right? Because we're the ones that put everything together.
Of course.
So when you're, especially on those FITs, take what's the total of your FIT, and take 10% of that. But again, I do get not everybody is, so it's totally an individual and a personal thing. Not everybody is comfortable with service fees. I get that, Bets. And so that's why you want to think about, when all is said and done, if your clients had a great time and you put a lot of work into it, in the end, don't be afraid to say, hey, I could really use, however you want to say it, but if you had a good time and you appreciate the work that I put into planning and making sure that everything was just right for you, I'd appreciate a tip if you'd like to, here's my Venmo account. So don't be afraid to go out there. That's a new thing nowadays. So everybody, it's okay to do that.
And there are also areas, so one thing is, somebody from New York City, $50 might not be a big deal to them. And if you're in a smaller town, $50 is everything to them. So maybe you adjust your fees to where you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And yeah, you can absolutely do that, but you should be charging a service fee or a planning fee or whatever you want to call it, a consulting fee.
Yeah, that's great. Good information. So I have a question, or it's a comment, and I don't know the specifics of this, but I'm just sharing this because it was shared with us here. Someone says, be aware that Venmo prohibits businesses taking payment via their platform. So I might be leery doing something like that. It's tempting.
Right. You definitely don't want to take that.
Personal,
I absolutely
right?
agree. You don't want to take any payment. There's not payment having to do with a booking. It simply is a tip.
A tip. Okay, that's what I thought.
A thank you tip. You don't ever, and I absolutely agree. And so that's why you do have to, really do your research, do your due diligence. Make sure you're not positioning any kind of Venmo or Zelle payment or anything like that as a booking, a deposit. You don't want to go there. Absolutely agree.
Right. And don't use it for a service fee. Don't use it for a service fee. But if you're asking for a tip and
It
it's
really is
after the
just for
fact-
tipping purposes, as a thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right, that clarifies it. Thank you for that. Someone just wanted to share that Amtrak has a lot of good specials to the national parks. It's funny, years ago, I remember when we had our retail agency, when someone wanted to come in and buy an Amtrak ticket, I wanted to cry because there was like no money in it, right, for my time. Because
Yep.
they wanted to go between like San Diego and Los Angeles. And like it was like, oh my God. But now how things change, right? Whoever knew.
Yep.
So yeah, good comment. Yes, that's true. They do have some great specials, and it's kind of time to rethink our business. And so I thought that was a
It is.
great comment.
We've partnered with RV companies. So we've got Cruise America, which is, just regular old RV rentals. And we've
Right.
got another one that's totally luxury, and you can get a commission of up to $6,000. These trips are like $60,000 if you've got a family and they're going for 10 days.
Yeah.
And they can hire
and
a driver.
the nice thing is they pay
make it.
commission.
And
I
they
know.
pay commission.
I know. What a concept, right? Woohoo! Love it. All right.
Yeah.
Somebody else is saying, let's see. Oh, okay, so there's some curiosity here about your daughter's channel. People are wanting, I know, I mean, right? So somebody's asking that $350, that was a month. They're just curious, and I figured
That was a month. Yeah.
I assume
Yeah.
as much. Yeah. Okay. And then somebody says, "Are you going to show your daughter's screen?" And unfortunately, we can't do that, folks, because we have some issues with
Yeah.
video.
And plus, I didn't get her permission. She doesn't even know I mentioned it.
Oh yeah, she's
So
probably mad at you, right?
yeah,
Uh,
she's not
No,
herself.
because
So,
she needs more people to view her channel to get more money.
so I'm going to share with anybody that is interested in seeing how YouTube channels might work. We've had great success with ours over the years, and I think the title of it is Travel Professional News. So if you go and look at that, you'll see we do videos and record things all the time for it, and they're basically just free instruction for travel agents that we do on helping them with their businesses. So it gives you, though, folks, an idea of how you can use one. So I'm using that since we don't want to share.
excellent. Yeah. Yeah.
So let me see if there's anything else. People keep talking at us here. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And Joni, I'm going to start my YouTube channel in the fall. So I'll have to follow up with you if anybody wants to follow and look at it and see how it grows. I'm happy to share that when the time comes.
Awesome. I can't wait to see your gardening. I think that's awesome. I love gardening. It's one of my passions as well. All right. So I think we got most of the questions that were actual questions, and everybody really enjoyed this. I've had so many comments about it. So thank you all so much for the wonderful job you ladies have done on this. So I think we're probably ready for our prize. You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to ask the question, and then I'm going to take the fifth correct answer. So folks, you're going to want to put your answer over in the same place that you put your questions. And then I wait for the fifth one down, and the fifth one down is going to win a wonderful gift card from Uniglobe. So thank you, ladies, so much for that generosity. That's awesome. So drum roll, here we go. And I know the answer to these, so don't worry. I know. And you have to answer both, though. So you can't just answer one of these. You have to answer both, okay, at one time. The question is, what are Rose and Betsy's favorite colors? Okay. Oh, my goodness. I know who won this, too. How fun is that? Luann, you have won. Congratulations. Luann Edger won that. And everybody got that right. So that was just only a few people forgot. A few people only gave one. Yeah, you guys are good. All right. That was amazing. Somebody said Betsy is a favorite color. Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, there you go. All right, guys.
That was summer.
That was amazing. All right, so we will be getting to you, Luann. I'll have the ladies will be reaching out to you. I'll share your email. Everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today for the webinar. First of all, you ladies rocked it. You did a fantastic job. I appreciate your time and always our friendship. And to everybody that's on the webinar today, thank you so much for being here. I hope you walk away with some great ideas. I know I have as well. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys next time. And this is being recorded and will be on travelprofessionalnews.com later this afternoon. So you can watch it again if you forgot and didn't get everything written down. Thanks, everybody. Have an absolutely wonderful afternoon. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Joni. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Toodles. Bye, everybody.
Aye.